Well, hi there. My name is Kelly Hatch, and I am the founder of the Find the One program, where I help single women not only find their one, the love of their life, but ensure that they never settle for less in that relationship. And I'm excited about our topic today because it really has a lot to do with the never settling. It's all about how to avoid dating, getting into a relationship with, or marrying a narcissist. And if you are somebody who has ever had the soul crushing experience of dating a narcissist, or you fear to ever have that experience, stay tuned because we are starting right now. And as always and forever, remember, for the best dating relationship advice you will ever receive, make sure that you hit the bell and subscribe to get notified when new videos post every single fabulous, miraculously wonderful week. I personally have seen narcissists at its finest. I have seen women who were incredibly confident and had all of these aspirations, dreams, and goals get the life sucked out of them, turned into a hollow shell, left to pick up pieces from problems and insecurities that weren't theirs to begin with, but then they had to work through because they married into those problems or they got into a relationship with those problems. So today I want to share with you the 6 ways that you personally can avoid dating a narcissist. Narcissistic personality is actually a diagnosis that the DSM-5 has criteria for. So let's go ahead and break it down and discover what those are and the 6 ways that you can avoid it. Step number 1 in avoiding a narcissist is to get clarity and understanding about who is a narcissist. You know, it's really popular now for us to call everybody a narcissist. Is he a narcissist? I think he's a narcissist. You know, I read this book on narcissism, and I'm pretty sure he's all of that. So what we really want to do here is to get a firm understanding and definition about what a narcissist is. And so when they come into your life, you're already armed and ready to say, oh, up, and you're gone. None of us are perfect. All of us are going to show up with our baggage in our lives. And so not everybody will be a narcissist, but you know when it's a narcissist when when he has a grandiose sense of self-importance. And what this is this is not confidence, but it's kind of this state of delusional idea about how important he is and how his needs come before everybody else's, including yours. And you can see how this would affect you in a long-term relationship if he never puts your needs above his own. B, he's preoccupied with fantasies about power, success, beauty, brilliance, all the things that make him such a glorious human being. He's really kind of obsessed with these things, really about the outer shell of people, what other people think of him and the way that he presents himself and the way that others present themselves. He's really focused on bodies and image and what this does for a woman if she's not perfect or doesn't fit his ideals of what he deserves and what is important is it's going to slowly chip away at her self-esteem because nobody will ever live up to his delusional fantasies. So if you're in a relationship with a guy who expects perfection from you and you get this sense you'll never live up to it, and he gives you this feeling you're lucky to be with him, but he may trade you out for a better version at any given moment, this is a great clue that he may be a narcissist. C, they have this delusional belief that they are somehow special and more unique than the average commoner, and that they can only be truly understood by somebody with high status or high levels of education. And so they treat people, the common folk, like garbage. And if you fall under the category of common folk, watch out, because he will let you know that you are not up to his standards. And we are on to D, which is the absolute need for admiration from other people. And why this is because under all those narc layers, all that armor, is a really insecure person who's constantly looking for external validation for the insecurities that he feels inside. So it will never be enough for him. People that don't feel good about themselves on the inside and constantly look for that validation on the outside will constantly be needing it, because the only way that we can solve those internal insecurities is to turn inward and to find the love for ourselves instead of constantly seeking it from people around them. So pay close attention to this guy who maybe has done A, B, and C, and you're thinking, this is interesting. We're kind of checking some boxes here. Does he also need admiration from other people because he's insecure with who he really is on the inside? We are halfway through and we are on E, which is a sense of entitlement. Narcissists have a major sense of entitlement where they want things done now, here, faster. Well, of course it should be me. Of course I should have it. Of course this should be done. And if it's not, you better watch your back, because they will get very angry. And what's below all of these layers is possibly they just never really felt important. Throughout childhood, nobody ever put them first. So they developed this belief, I've got to put me first. I have to have this sense of entitlement so that that wounded kid never, ever, ever feels that feeling that they're not important. I will be waited on. People will move quickly. They will respect me. I will get the things that I want. I deserve to cut in line. I deserve to have the biggest piece of birthday cake at the office. Whatever it is, there's this sense of entitlement. And if you are in a relationship with somebody who constantly has this need of entitlement for getting the best, having the best, being the best, it makes for a very uncomfortable situation for that partner. You will always fall second to that. You will become the servant that serves his childhood needs that were not met 30 years ago. So do not look over the sense of entitlement that he might start leaking out in the beginning of the relationship. So F on our ABCs of narcissism is they like to exploit others. And the reason for this is nobody ever took the time to take care of them. So they're going to take care of them in their way by exploiting anybody and everybody for gain. So you may have dated a narcissist for a very short period of time where he got a few benefits and then he was gone. And what he was doing, he was exploiting the relationship to get what he needed, and then he was on his merry way, which is good for you because in the short run, yes, it hurt. In the long run, now you're not married to a narcissist. Bravo. You passed the test of him not being able to exploit you long term, and he just got a little bit of that and he was on his way. So keep your eye out for this behavior. As we move on to G, G is really the kicker. This is one that very few people share in common. There's a few of these that, to be honest, I thought, maybe I'm a little bit of a narcissist myself. I have ideas about how grand I am, or I shouldn't have to wait in line. But G will show his true colors, and that is a lack of empathy. Very few humans have a lack of empathy. This is when we're really getting down into how serious this is. If he doesn't feel sorry for others or for his actions or things that he's done or that other people have done to other people, take into account how he acts after a movie or after you tell him a horrific story if there's no empathy there, or after a big fight where he has given really bad behavior and all of a sudden, he doesn't really feel sorry about it. That is a lack of empathy. And if you are married to somebody with a lack of empathy, that is going to be a very scary, sad existence. So keep your eyes peeled for this. This will be the tell-all sign, because we all have a little bit of narcissism in us, but lack of empathy, that is saved only for the true narcissists. As we move on to H is that narcissistic personality are very envious of others or feel that others are very envious of them. And the real root is they're really just projecting their envy that others have what they've always wanted. And it drives them crazy because they don't understand how they can get it, how they can have what other people have. And so they constantly stay in this loop of being envious of others, but really looking out for, they're just jealous of me because I'm this, that, or the other. They really just are not satisfied with themselves. And so they constantly look at other people and compare themselves. And when they feel the lack, they become envious. And when they feel like others are looking at them a certain way or judging them, they're going to bring up those feelings of envy and say, they're just jealous of me. Most of the time, most people really aren't as envious as they might think, but for them, it does two things for them. It releases a lot of pressure inside, and it also lets them have this feeling that they're so important that others are envious of them. We are on our last letter, which is I in the A, B, C, D, E, F, G of narcissistic behavior. And what I is it is arrogant behavior. They have this manliness about them, this overconfidence, and all it really is it's a protection layer, a thick protection layer of don't hurt the little boy that lives inside of here. I'm going to keep you at an emotional distance with all of my arrogant behavior so that he never gets hurt. And so they show up in situations where everyone's like, wow, what's his problem? Wow, he's so confident. No, he's so arrogant. And it's too much, and it's not helpful or healthy for a relationship with somebody that you want to draw close to and have connection with. If they're constantly demonstrating arrogant behavior, you will never get to who they really are as a person, because they're constantly trying to protect something inside of them that actually doesn't even need protection at all. They just aren't aware of that. Now that we've taken care of step one of getting clarity about what exactly it takes to be a narcissist, let's move into step two of how we avoid them. And that is if you personally have been in a relationship with a narcissist, it's time to move away from your past. What commonly happens with women, once they've gone through the grieving process, which they do need to do, you do need to grieve the relationship that was lost, because there was moments that were great with that person. They weren't awful all the time, or you wouldn't have been with that person. But once you've grieved, which we all need to do, we need to feel to heal, is we need to move forward. We need to look into your future. Commonly what happens is women look in the rear view mirror and they constantly talk about their ex, about narcissists. They want to dissect it and get into it and understand it and marinate in it and post on social media about it, about all their anger and their rage about their ex. And they keep living in it. They keep reliving the relationship. It's almost like, here's my ex. He actually still lives with me, even though he's been gone for 10 years. But he actually still lives right here because every day I think about him. I talk about him. I get angry about him. And if you have done this, don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault. It's just your subconscious thinking that it is protecting you from ever dating a narcissist again. If it reminds you every day, if it lets your narcissistic ex move in with you in your mind and in your anger and in your rage, then you won't ever make those mistakes again. But all it actually is doing is just that. Where you put your attention is where your energy goes. Quote by Joe Dispenza. So if you are constantly focusing on the past, focusing on the anger of once was your life, you will continue to create that life. So once you've grieved the relationship and you've gotten the clarity that we talked about in step 1 of what actually is a narcissist, trust yourself that you're going to pick somebody different next time and let go. Let go of your ex. Say, I don't need your protection anymore, mind. I don't need to be reminded every day of how awful it was, how horrible he was to me, because I trust myself not to make that mistake again. And then go out and find the guy you really want to be with because you've let go and you've kicked your ex out of your mind just like you did 10 years ago out of the house. Step 3 in avoiding a narcissist is always go with your feelings. Our feelings are the most important thing that we have because they never lie. When somebody makes you feel a way that a narcissist has made you feel in the past, or what you feel like a narcissist would make you feel like, get really curious about that. Get curious about his behaviors and who he is and why he makes you feel that way. When that first red flag is waved, you look at it and say, whoa, he made me feel a way that my ex made me feel. Or he's making me feel in a way that I don't ever want to feel. And how often is this happening? And in what areas of the relationship is this happening? The way to avoid a narcissist in dating, go right to how he makes you feel. Step 4 in avoiding a narcissist when dating and finding the guy that you want to spend forever with is once you pay attention to those feelings, honor those feelings. That gut feeling that people talk about where you go with your gut, you go with your instincts. Your instincts aren't going to lie. And what you need to do is you need to honor that. It's one thing to pay attention to it and start looking for more red flags. But once you get the gist that this guy is a narcissist or isn't what you're looking for, honor that. Trust yourself that you'll find somebody who is going to be the person that you need him to be for a long-term, healthy, loving relationship, and honor those feelings. Number 5, be aware if he's gaslighting you. A man with a plan, a narcissist, is going to need to throw a smoke bomb into the relationship to manipulate you into thinking you're crazy. You're the problem. And if you aren't familiar with gaslighting, watch my video on gaslighting and what it is so that you can look for it if it's happening in your relationship or in a future relationship that you haven't even had yet. But what he really needs you to do is he needs you to be psychologically so dizzy that you don't see exactly what he's doing in the relationship, because any sane, normal woman would leave immediately. But he is going to slowly make you feel like you're going crazy to the point where you're like, am I crazy? Is he crazy? Somebody here is crazy. I don't know who it is. I think it might be me. If it is, you've been gaslighted. Number 6 of how to avoid dating or getting into a long-term relationship with a narcissist is trust family and friends. If he's gaslighting you and you're not quite sure who the crazy one is, talk to family and friends about it. And don't be afraid to walk away. Once your family and friends have identified the behaviors that are showing up that he is a narcissist, and they come to you and say, we're concerned for you, and helping you get clarity, be ready to walk away from that relationship. Trust your family and friends. Spend more time with them during a period of the relationship where all of a sudden it's not working anymore. You're feeling a little dazed and confused. There's all these weird bad behaviors that are starting to develop that aren't working for you. Clear your head and step out of the relationship more by spending more time with trusted family and friends, and be ready to walk away if he truly is a narcissist. Because this is the mistake so many women make, is they think they're going to tame him into a little pussycat, or they're going to get to a soft underbelly. But this guy has so many internal issues. No one woman is going to be able to get off all that narc armor that he has built up over the years for the survival that he actually doesn't need but doesn't know. You are not his therapist. You are not his nurse. You are not his cheerleader or his fan club. You are a confident, strong woman that has her whole life to do and feel and be whoever she wants. Do not choose to spend time or a life with somebody that's going to make you feel anything but amazing. So if you liked this video, in the comments below, share with us and with me if you have ever been in a relationship with a narcissist and what it took for you to get out. It's so helpful when we together as women come together and share our experiences and our stories so that we can help each other avoid narcissists when dating and finding the one. Remember, you were meant to love and be loved. And if you are one of those women who have been through, lived through a relationship with a narcissist or somebody that you felt you have settled for, and you're scared that you may repeat those same patterns and behaviors in the next guy that you meet, book a discovery call with me at www.kellyhatch.com, and let's talk about how we can help you ensure your success for your next relationship, your last relationship, because you are about to meet and find the one, the love of your life. And until that time, my darling dear, hit the bell and subscribe so you get notified when new, totally fabulous, awesome, irreplaceable videos just like this one drop every week.